What's up YouTube, Mr. LawMSC here, and today we're going to start our hardcore guided playthrough series. This is going to be the guided playthroughs, but for hardcore. Now, of course, as you know, hardcore has a bunch of different things that are different from softcore, in that if you die, it's over. That's it. There's no changes. Some people think that the game is supposed to be harder, it's going to have more like different things and whatever. None of that is true. It is just, if you die, it's over. Otherwise, it's the exact same as softcore. So, we can play it similarly to softcore, but of course, with an emphasis on survival. There's going to be a little bit more focus on resistances, a little bit more focus on leveling up in some easier places, and just maybe gearing slightly more, making sure that, you know, we have some better life and stuff as we're going through. And that'll be the focus. So chat has voted the Amazon is going to be the starting class today. Again, we have like, 40, 50 different builds in this game. So we can go ahead and decide which one we want to do. The Amazon builds are essentially bow and crossbow, and that comes with either kind of a physical build or an elemental build, where you're running like fire and ice, or of course like multi-shot guided arrow and strafe. Kind of a passive Zon where you're just running like pure Valkyrie. Honestly, decently safe, but very slow because you're just letting her do that. A spear Zon, which sadly is just not super great, but is possible. And then a lightning Zon with charge strike and lightning fury. So I think we will go for the lightning Zon for this playthrough, and then we can do some of the other ones in the other times. There's also technically a poison Zon, which we may even run poison to start here, or we could run lightning to start, and just kind of have it be a like thrown elemental jab Zon, because poison is actually really good early, and lightning's not so great. Lightning gets better once you really get like charge strike and lightning fury. So to start out, I'm gonna go right here. There's also a lightning spear Zon if you want, where you do run lightning strike. But we'll go for just kind of your standard, decent elemental Zon right there. And so that is why Kano will never quite be able to catch me with all of my records that I've been running. But, like it's still, it's good that he's trying. And he can be the victor of the South. Right. So, so the first things first, we type /players8. Now, players 1 to players 8 is essentially what you can always type when you're playing this game. If you go for players 1, that is just the standard playthrough. If you go for players 8, it is increasing the monster's life, increasing the monster's damage, increasing the monster's, like, all their stats, but also the amount of experience they give and the number of items that they drop. So players 8 is actually really useful for using in the right spots to level up. However, of course, I don't want to use it on like Duriel or anything, right? I am a little sick, so I do apologize. All of this is just good money to start out. So I am just... Also, it increases your chest drops. Ugh. Throat. Let me get a cough drop. What a start. We'll go ahead and leave a TP right here at the Den of Evil. And then we'll continue forward. Now, one thing I like to do is I like to bind throw off the bat. As throw actually does a lot more damage than attack, right? A basic attack is 1 to 6, a throw is 7 to 18. That's going to be enough to one-shot, two-shot a lot of these mobs out here. Just kind of speed it up a little bit. And you can see I have to kill way less monsters on players 8 to get the levels. Now, I actually don't need to spend any of my early points for this build right here. Pick up some more jabs. We will go Vitality with our stats. But skill points, my focus is really going to be early on getting to poison. So we can take a little bit of a look at the skills. Again, I'm not running bows in this build exactly, so bows don't matter. Early critical strike can be okay for like a single point, but again, I'm going to be going into poison to start, and that's not really going to benefit from it. So my first skill I want to get is poison javelin, which means we're just going to be waiting a little bit until we hit level 6. And then I also want to get plague javelin, and that's where we'll kind of use our bonus points. So for now, we can just wait. I always like to look around for shrines, because an experienced shrine is just a nice shrine to have. So again, we level up. We'll go more vitality, but I'm not going to put anything into my skills. We are just going to save them. %40 gold. Nice. Sure, we'll take 1 dex. Why not? We can sell these other things. I actually do like strangling gas potions usually, but on this character, we get poison at level 6, so it's not a big deal. I'll go ahead and get my tomes. I like to save chip gems. We can use those for re-rolling later. We'll talk about that. And I'm going to go over here and get some more javelins, as I do want to have a few more javelins. So we can repair, and we'll buy some. Those were low quality. I'll look for 2 open socket armor and helm, and then anything, yeah, I'll just buy a regular belt. So the main idea there is 2 open socket helm or armor would be really nice, as that's going to give us armor for stealth. And a helm, we can always put like 2 Ral runes or tier runes or something in it if we want later on. Now I am still on players 8 in here. You don't have to be on players 8 in here. You could go down to P1, but I have an experienced shrine, and my thought is, my goal is to get to level 6, and I know that one of the hard parts of this game is Rakinishu, right? Rakinishu is like, also I'll go more vitality. Rakinishu is a very difficult fight if you are under-leveled. And since I don't have any skill points that I'm investing until level 6, I don't really want to be fighting him at like level 5. That's just going to be a hard time. So my goal is just get to level 6 before I get to Rakinishu. Now I can obviously do that in the Cold Plains if I want a little bit, so I don't have to be down here on players 8 again. It will make the Den of Evil take longer, but I am okay with it because, again, this is our hardcore playthrough, and our goal is to just be safe. And one of the things that helps when you're trying to just be safe is over-leveling. Making sure that you're the proper level heading into a zone and not just going in there at, you know, speedrun levels all the time. So, yes, a lot of times you're running Den on like players 1 or players 3. We have a 2 open socket armor, so that's really nice. That quilted armor was there, so we don't have to shop that anymore. Unfortunately, we have a Den of shamans, so we just have to kind of go snipe them first. Pick up some more javelins. And now you can also see why I bought so many stacks of javelins, because, well, we need them. I like it, Gooster. Now we are level 5, closing in on 6. Again, this is like an extremely busy Den of Evil. So we'll pick up more jabs. We'll pick up more gems. And throwing knives are also good money, so we'll grab some of those. But the good news is, we're going to hit our level 6 here in a second.
I am overburdened.
Yeah, this is a lot. A rare buckler. I mean, I'm not that excited for it, but it could be a little bit of money. And maybe we'll use it. Oh my god, the number of monsters is crazy. The good news is, though, we hit level 6. Now, with level 6, there are some things I must teach you. The first thing is proper spacing and throw patterns. So, a lot of times what you will see as I throw is I'm not going to throw directly at mobs right in front of me. I'm going to try and throw in a way where I'm able to catch multiple mobs with the poison. Now, in some cases like this, it's not going to be, you just kind of end up throwing directly at them a lot of times, but you want to be able to hit as many as you can. If I'm right here and I throw a javelin with poison, it's going to stop right on this guy. So only these guys are going to get poison. Right? Whereas if I throw over there and then have the poison continue hitting, then I can get more guys. So the main focus really is to get as many people poisoned as possible. That's where the bulk of your damage is. Almost having level 7 coming out of the den is insane, by the way. We'll go more vitality. We're still just all in on that vitality train. It's actually a really nice shield. 5 all reds, basically, with faster block. You know what? We'll use it. A little bit of light reds as well. Why not? 5 cold reds right there and 8 life. That's amazing. We're going to use both these charms until the end of the game. It's really nice. We're at Act 1 through the Den of Evil. You already have 2 charms that you're going to use till the end of the game.
Good day.
Head over here, store our gold because it doesn't matter. Now, I'm going to keep everything in this tab because actually I don't need to. I forgot it's hardcore, so.
What you need?
We'll come over here, repair, and we'll just get some more javelins. We'll put some on our offhand. We can also repair this set for 1 gold. Look for 2 open socket helms.
Moo.
And if we don't already have this, then we could buy a 2 open socket armor, which we already have right there. And that seems good enough for me. We'll continue on players 8. And now our focus is really going to be on large groups of mobs. So you can see I kind of like gather up good packs. And look at how I throw that. Oops, sorry. I didn't throw that at a single monster, but all of those monsters got poisoned just about. Right? I didn't throw that at a single monster, but then I drag every single monster through the poison train. That is how you really want to be focusing your poison daggers. Now, killing stuff out here isn't that valuable because I'm almost level 7. But it'll still be worth the time of experience. And what we really want to do is find bosses. We'll go for more poison javelin. So when I say find bosses, I mean Bishi Bosh, I mean Rakanishu, I mean Puke Lust, who is not a super unique, but just a regular unique. The reason is twofold. Number one, they give 500% experience. So if this mob normally gives 30 experience, they will give 150. Just better. Right? The second reason is they are higher levels as well. A rare leather armor, but we don't really need a rare leather armor here. So those uniques are actually going to be 3 levels above. And the champions will be 2 levels above. So here is Flesh Feast. My mic is clipping. It does seem like that, doesn't it? I'll turn it down a tiny bit. Thank you. Here is Flesh Feast. Flesh Feast is 3 levels higher in the area of Stony Field. And he's 500% experience. Now, not just him, but also this Hungry Dead Undead Minion is also going to be that. So we're just going to run around, try and make sure these guys are constantly poisoned. As, of course, that is our main damage. Go for another poison jab. And you can see every time one of these guys dies, watch my experience bar. Right? Like giant jumps. Also, we will start grabbing rejuves, as that's just good to have. Now, Rakanishu, we're going to try and keep at an arm's length because we know he is dangerous. And just lay down some poison. And something to always remember is Rakanishu will run away if a mob next to him dies. So as long as you've got, one dude dying here and there, you'll be good to go. Okay, so we got that. That's another level up. Now, one thing that you can do, if you find a waypoint in your Stony Field, like right here, I could reset Rakanishu, and I could run Rakanishu over and over and over again. And you can actually, on Players 8, also more Vitality, run him up to like level 14 if you want. And that is extremely safe, right? Archers are a little harder to kind of like drag into poison because they like to just stand for the most part. So really in this case, I'm generally just like throwing at the pack, trying to just keep each one of them poisoned. But we've got good experience shrines here. So again, the goal is more poison jab. Just launching into those dudes. And more vitality. Notice a trend. There's going to be a lot of vitality on this. Do any monsters give permanent vitality loss like in Diablo 1? No. In Diablo 1, there were zombies that if they hit you, you lost a vitality point. None of that exists in D2. There's no permanent alteration. Act 3 Hell is difficult for this character, yes. Probably the biggest difficulty. Now, one of the really nice things, and something you'll note as we play through this character a lot, is I'm really just sticking on Players 8 for a majority of this run. And not every class can do that. There's a lot of classes where, okay, I'm Players 8 through this section, but now I have to go down to Players 1. Not every class is capable. So just kind of catch all the mobs behind us.
What a strange looking tree.
Grab the scroll with Inifus and keep going poison. Now, at some point around this time, I will add 5 to strength. I'm going to do it right now. It doesn't have to be exactly at level 11. You can do it at level 10, level 11, level 12, level 13, whatever. But the main idea is eventually I want 25 strength to be able to wear a larger belt. So, you know, choose when you want to do it, essentially. Now, something to note about Poison Javelin as well is that it is a long duration. We are at 196 to 225 damage over 18 seconds. And that duration just continues to go up. So, it will be... You can really set some poison and then just let it do its thing, right? You don't have to baby it always. And what we want to do in the Black Marsh is find the waypoint and then find the tower. If you find the tower first, leave a TP, get your waypoint, and then go through your TP.
What's that smell?
It's a fun surprise, super. So that's a decent waypoint right there. It can be closer, it can be further. And one thing to note is, as well, you may want shrines, having some shrines between the waypoint, and that can be really nice. Or if you have a shrine at like your Cold Plains, you can check that every time just to see if you get skill shrine or experience shrine. Those are generally the ones that you're going to be excited for. Okay, so I want to... There's generally one boss per level, sometimes 0, and sometimes 2. Also, I'll go ahead and go another point Poison Jav, and we'll add 1 to Lightning Bolt, as we will need that to get into Plague Javelin. Additionally, we can have Lightning Bolt, just for, like, hitting Andariel or something. Or, you know, once you've gotten all the mobs poisoned, you can do a little more damage by throwing the lightning bolts if you want. Thanks, Christoph. So just make sure they stay poisoned and then hit them with the lightning bolts and you're good to go. Kind of a nice 1-2 punch right there. Scott Carney. I think something that would be helpful for poison would be adding a slow mod. Ooh, that'd be wild. Okay, so archers are a little bit deadly. More poison jav. Especially cold enchanted or spectral hit.
I can't carry anymore.
So just be very careful around them is my advice. %5 fire res, why not? And there's our minion. Whenever you see a mob that says minion, you know that there's a boss nearby. Now there is one thing that needs to be done when doing this, when playing this. Before you kill the Countess, go down to players 1. Just change the player count to players 1. Also more vitality. The reason is, every other monster in the game has better drops with players 8. The Countess has worse drops with players 8. Players 1 drops the most runes from the Countess. It's just the way that it is. Has to do with her drop table and how the rune drops happen and stuff. It doesn't matter if she spawns on players 1 or players 8. You can change her to P1. So you can see, there we go. We find 3 runes. If that was players 8, we'd get 1 rune. So we get Ral, Eth, Tyr. Really nice. We need Tal and Eth to make our stealth. And then additional Ral runes and Tyr runes can just be nice for our cap if we want to get some mana per kill, some fire res, some whatever. Go ahead and stock up. Sell some things here. If you want, you can see I'm 6 out of 90 quantity. For my white javelins, I can always just sell them and buy them back. And we'll go another point there. Another point vitality. And we'll go back to the stony field. We've got the scroll. Might as well. And we get another Rakanishu to fight here. Not that it's too big of a deal, because we're a little over leveled now. And now we're at 14, so now the experience from Rakanishu is pretty minimal. But
It's as if a great war were fought here.
do you have to do the Kane quest and saving? No.
Go to the rogue's camp without delay.
It's kind of up to you if you want to. But I do want to get Wirt's leg, so we can do the cows a little bit later. We'll put our chip gems away. Put our leg away. Put a couple rejuves away. And we'll take 1 energy, 5 poison res instead. Magic damage reduced by 1. It's okay. Honestly, it could have probably been a little better, but whatever. Jitty, thank you. Don't really have any shrines. So we'll go back up to players 8 and continue. A couple of champions is pretty weak. I'll go ahead and drop a poison. Should be able to, you know, kill the berserker guy at least, but we'll leave it. Did Kane really need to be rescued? No, I mean, he rescues himself the next act if you don't rescue him, so he's fine. Now, again, archers are a little bit scary, so make sure you're not getting just like chipped away too much from them. Keep your life total up. And there we go. And we'll just continue our way down. Do you think they'll bring back Mosaic Assassin? Almost definitely. But they're going to fix it, they said. So. Now for leveling in here on players 8, you can honestly level up to about level 17. At level 17, it starts to get really rough. And it takes a while to gain much experience at all. But all the way up to 17 is pretty decent experience. So I'm almost 15. We got a little bit longer we can go. Now remember, go to players 1. This guide will be up on YouTube, yes. There's our Tal rune. So honestly, we're good to go forward if we want. If you want to run a little bit longer, it's totally fine. Right?
Good day.
But we'll come over here. We'll do a repair. 1 to life. The bare minimum. And we'll grab 1 more set of javs. Go put away some of these. And you know what? We'll just make it right now. Tal Eth. So when we hit level 17, we'll just roll right into it. Continue with Poison Jav. Continue with Vitality. Should have enough potions there. Go back to players 8. And we're off. Can anything be improved about this game? I think there are definitely still some things, but you also can go too far, right? So you gotta be careful about that. Make strangling gas useful. I beat this game on a strangling gas or just throwing potions with a barbarian in under 4 hours. Through normal, of course. I think that's pretty solid, actually. Now, Claglaws is actually kind of fun for Endariel, just to have the poison length reduction.
So, this is the site of Andariel's atrocities.
I actually really like how good the throw potions are. Now, of course, if I'm going too fast for you, just pause the video, catch up. You've seen what I've done prior. You know how it goes. If I'm going too slow for you, wow, congrats. And, you know, you can speed the video up then to catch up to you. You can also wait for me to die, and then you'll be caught up. That's right. Okay. And we'll let him sit there to simmer in his poison. We'll leave a TP here so we can come back and get the imbue.
What nightmarish tortures took place here?
And we'll grab the waypoint in the jail level 1.
Greetings.
Will the next hardcore one be from 0? Uh-huh. Alright, there he is. It's like, where is he? Worst hardcore death? The first one that immediately comes to mind. I was running a Hell Druid. We'll go turn this in. I was on world record pace, like 7, 8, 9, maybe 10 minutes under. I was like flying, playing really well. I got to Hell Ancients. As I was fighting Hell Ancients, my game crashed. It reset me back like 5 minutes. I rushed over to Ancients again. Now I was like barely ahead of the pace. I had to fight just like whatever Ancients I got. It was kind of dangerous, like fanaticism, extra fast and stuff. But I felt like I didn't have time to just like reset a bunch. And I died to the Hell Ancients after I was about to kill them on the previous piece of it. That one hurt. Wow, what a map. So, that's the first one I can think of. That was probably on OG. That was a while ago. Maybe earlier Resurrected. It might have been Resurrected, actually. It's probably about like 4 years ago. Do I remember my hardcore Zon playthrough where I got Titans? Yeah. Yep. We've had some rough deaths. So. That game crashes Kano? What? Yes, Kano does have remote access to my computer. But he would never sabotage, right? He said he needed it for safety purposes. In case someone was hacking me, he could step in and stop the hack. Well, yeah, he also said that for my credit card. Which he hasn't been doing a good job because somebody in Australia has been spending a lot of money on my credit card.
I am overburdened.
So he said he's working on it. He's going to go hunt them down. More poison jab. These maps are wild. But I don't mind, right? I'm just like fighting these bosses and just picking up experience, fighting one boss after the next. Cursed, cold, enchanted. I'm just trying to be careful around pit spawn here. Just try not to get hit. If you want to learn how to read every map in all the zones, I have a video, Map Hack in Your Mind. That will do a lot for you. It'll let me know this is level 3. Or Inner Cloister. I didn't know you had a lot of money to spend in the first place. I don't. That's the crazy thing. Whoever this scammer is, they're running up my credit card, and it's just a whole thing. 20 light res on Ami's pretty solid. We'll keep that for a long time, most likely. Unless we end up picking a nice Ami somewhere. And we'll go more vitality.
This place is eerie.
Have no fear, though. Kano is on the job. I'm always banned in AoE. The worst thing I've ever seen. I constantly get banned because I don't want to play mega random. That's why. That's why I get banned. More poison, and the nice thing now is we're level 17, so stealth comes online. Now, stealth isn't the biggest thing for this character in some ways because it does have like FCR, and that doesn't do a ton for us, but it still has faster run walk. And one thing that you'll see, especially with this character, but with really every character, faster run walk is really good. Not just if you're trying to speed run, which obviously it's good for that. Faster run walk is just really nice to reposition yourself and put yourself in a place where then you can actually be successful. Get away from mobs quickly so you can turn and fire again. The faster you can do that, the safer that you can be. So there's actually a lot of safety that comes with it. Again, just dropping poison in there. And continuing. Now you can see the experience is kind of worsening now that we're 17 here. It's definitely not as good, but it still is some experience. It's not at the point where it's dropped to nothing. We'll go to CAD level 3. And remember, before you get to CAD level 4, you're changing down to players 1. Unless you, for some reason, want to fight Endario on players 8 with poison, I would recommend against it, personally. Now, ghouls actually are a little bit higher level, so we're still going to get some decent experience from them. So we'll be able to hit level 18, which will open up Plague Javelin, which is actually different from Poison Javelin. And I'll explain that in a second. Now that we're here, let me just kill these guys.
I am overburdened.
So, what you'll note about Poison Javelin is I do 1,000 damage over 32 seconds. What you will note about Plague Javelin is that I do 100 damage over 3 seconds. So currently, 1,000 over 32 and 100 over 3 are pretty much the same thing. So level 1 Plague Javelin's actually not that different or good. Ends up being about the same. But once you get a couple points in Plague Javelin, you're going to be able to start doing like 200 damage over 3 seconds. And that is going to start being a lot more significant than, 3,000 damage over 58 seconds or whatever, right? Like it just ends up being way too long for Poison Jav. And so it'll just kind of get annoying. So you'll still, for the next couple of levels, kind of bounce between using Plague and Poison. Just depending, like, what monster you're fighting. Right now, Poison's still kind of the way to go. But Plague will, for the most part, take over. Unless you're in a spot where you need to just, like, keep a monster poisoned for a while and then you're gone, right?
Move.
Also, where do our stat points go? Vitality. Ghoul Lords can also be okay right now if you want to fight them. But I feel pretty satisfied with our experience. I don't feel like we need to do that much more fighting here. And of course, before we go down, players 1. So we've really been players 8 for the most part of the entirety of Act 1. Just to soak up that extra experience. Get us a little bit higher level to end here, which of course ends up helping us out. Here's where we know she's poisoned. We can start just launching lightning at her. Now you want to be careful being too close to her, as that poison spread attack she does, that one, actually does a lot of damage. So you don't want to get hit. You don't want to be close in on that. At this point, I mean, we'll be fine. We have 35 poison res. We're okay. But just for future note,
This maiden
rare
shall
Ami
fight
is
no
nice.
more anguish.
And honestly, those two are whatever.
Good day.
Okay. And just like that, give yourselves the clap. Act 1, hardcore, done. We'll go back to players 8.
Stay a while and listen.
Talk to Kane. That's actually a pretty tough one. It's about the same res. Lightning is a little nicer, but fire is a little nicer early on. There's not really a big need for lightning res early on, with the exception of Act 2 beetles. So I'm actually going to save this. We'll save that as well because it's worth 10,000 money, so that'll be worth a little bit more later on. But I'm actually going to save this, and then when we go to Act 3, I'm going to put it on. Just more valuable. I also have this ruby, and I'm just going to put this in my cap.
Diablo in
Just
my
like
Empire's
really
stream.
nice. Thanks, game. Super nice and easy. 24 additional life. A lot of times people are a little too savvy with all their gems. They're like afraid to use them. use your gems. Super easy to get a ruby later on, right? So we're up to players 8. Again, now we have 30 light res. That helps with beetles a little bit. Now, beetles aren't too crazy on this character because we're doing poison damage. They're a lot worse when you're like constantly hitting them. But it's all good. And we're just going to focus again on the bosses here. Oh, whoops. Try and just make sure these guys are always poisoned. We'll continue to pick up rejuves just so we can save those for later. Radamant? I guess we can do Radamant for the guided playthrough. So here you can see, like, they don't really release a lot of lightning bolts, right? So it's not as big of a deal. Especially if you don't even hit them with the javelin, you just make them run next to it. They'll get poisoned and then they're only releasing once, and that's on their death. The Fistos are the ones you stay left. Wait, what do you mean by stay left? Oh, left of waypoint. Yes. Another point in Plague Javelin, and another point in Poison Javelin. So now Plague is starting to slightly take over in damage. However, something that you can note is I'm not going to be able to hit every one of these mobs every, 3 seconds. 3.2 seconds now. So I'm still going to use Poison Jab in like large groups. And we can start using Plague Jab in more small groups that I'm throwing at more often. Thanks, Big League. We'll leave a TP next to our halls. Perfect. I'll keep going. I'm unsure if story breaking a character is a thing in Diablo 2. Oh, you can totally break a character in Diablo 2. Now, the nice thing is your Den of Evil quest does give you a respec, so you can unbrick it, But if you brick it again after that, then you got to kind of make a new character. Now, if you're in the end game, you'll be okay, as you can just farm respec tokens before you do any of that. So then you're good to go. So we went forward to the Fire Oasis. What I have to do in the Fire Oasis is find the waypoint, because I did not find a waypoint in the Dry Hills. You can also talk to Atma to heal, by the way. Just a fun little fact. And I'm actually going to go down to players 1 in the Halls of the Dead. Not because it's difficult, but because there's basically 0 experience in here. Pretty worthless to be on a higher player count, with the exception of like the final boss. So if you get a bunch of skellies and unravelers standing in your way, it's just annoying. Now for level 3, I'll go ahead and go to players 8, because then we can kill the final boss of level 3. On P8. But you'll notice I'm not really killing things in here. Again, it's just like a waste of time. If it helps with your safety feelings, you feel like you don't want to dodge around all that, go for it. Right, this is hardcore. So like, you do what you need to do to stay safe. There's never a you need to speed up in hardcore, right? Always go at your own pace that you feel comfortable.
Yes.
Okay. Half freeze duration is actually really nice. I'll put that over 5 poison res. 2 to dexterity, I don't care about. And because y'all asked so nicely, we will go for Radamant. Probably not nice enough, binary. I'm gonna go players 1 for Adamant, because I just want to kill him. I don't want to deal like a bunch of time slowly chipping away at him. Have I ever done a full clear speed run? 100% quest, yeah. Honestly, it might be a category I start pushing. I really like the category. So you can see Radamant would be pretty much a pain on players 8, right? Oh boy. Alright, we've thrown out of our Javs. Go get some more. All right, and a book of skill. Nice and easy. And again, worth 10,000 gold, so we'll hold it. Every act is another 5,000 through all of normal. We'll go back to the Far Oasis. We do have the Maggot Lair right there, however, I'm going to go ahead and push forward. Namely because I still have a little bit left on this Experience Shrine, and now I don't. But that's okay. I'm going to see if I could have got like one boss or something with it. But that waypoint isn't going anywhere. So we can always come back for the Maggot Lair. I'm just going to try and go find the Lost City. And now we get a level up here. And now Plague Javelin's really going to start taking over in terms of damage. So, in places where, again, I'm still just kind of like throwing once, then running forward, Poison Jav is more than enough. But Plague Jav will be my main use if I ever need to throw like multiple times at mobs. Right, but here, Poison Jab does enough still. That'll kill them completely. Thank you, Trick. But for instance, with Dark Elder, I'm going to throw Plague Javelins.
Great. An eclipse. This just keeps getting better and better.
Girl don't like an eclipse. This is I'm on players 8 right now. So we will grab this well. I think he's played this game before. Hey, me or them? I've played this game once or twice, yeah. And more vitality. And Lost City to Valley of Snakes. Do you consider ladder playing season 15? Uh-huh. I have to see what day the ladder reset like dates are and stuff. Somewhere in August, September in that time frame. But yeah, I think I'll play it. Blood Topaz. This can also be like right now, I mean our shield is fine. But for instance with like Flawed Topaz, shove it in a shield, you know? I could also throw it in my helm if I want and get 13% magic find. I'm gonna, I think, hold to try and maybe throw a Rao rune in there or another ruby if I find one or something. But that would totally be a viable option. Hope they fix Herald loot. Honestly, them fixing Herald loot may be a big decider in if I actually want to play in the next season, like a lot or not. Because right now, Heralds are so bad. They tried something, and you know what? Kudos to them for trying. But it didn't work. Llama doesn't even wait for the mob to drop stuff. I mean, yes and no. I see a lot of the stuff at the very end as it's dropping or not. That's a good point, though. We can put on our speedrun profile, but essentially what this loot filter does is just get rid of like the complete garbage, right? It's getting rid of blue and or not even blue, yeah, blue and white caps, skull caps, helms and full helms, chain boots, light plated boots, like random gloves, buckler, small shield, spike shield, arrows and bolts. So it's really a very minor early game loot filter that just gets rid of complete junk. There's still a lot of stuff you would consider junk on there because it could be something useful in a speed run. But it at least does get rid of a tiny bit. I'll find a way to link that around. Now be very careful in level 2 down here, as this is another death zone. So I'm really gonna stick back and just like launch from far, because I don't want to have Fang Spin get all up in my business. If he does, one thing you can always do, save quit. You can always press escape and quit and go back in there if you're ever low life. Some people will say, that's not real hardcore. Ignore those people. Your character's alive while theirs is dead, so. Nothing really on that jewel. Oh, I forgot I was going to get a belt. Yeah, you should definitely get a belt at some point here. There's also 13% fire res gloves. This is a great place to just pick up random stuff. When you're in Act 2 here, you can find belts with some life on them or resistances, gloves, boots, whatever. Pick up small pieces like that just to improve your gear. And you can see my reds are actually doing pretty well. For Act 2 normal, 23, 30, 10, 30. Like, that's pretty good. We'll go back to the Far Oasis. I'm going to go to Players 1 before I go in the Maggot Lair. Yes, we could do higher player count, and it would be safe, but it just can be really slow, especially with rockworms. Like this boss group here on Players 8 can just be a real nightmare to like fight through. So instead, we'll just go P1, and we can always get our experience in better places is my thought. Blizzard should remove heralds. It's not working out. I mean, I disagree. I actually think the heralds are pretty close to being good. They just need to have better drops. And honestly, they should probably go back to being the ones that are limited to the Sunders. But like at a better drop rate than they had initially, you know. Yeah, I agree. I like heralds. I just want a reason to like actually go hunt them. Right now, there's no reason to hunt them whatsoever.
It is an honor to serve you.
Yeah, their drops are just like miserable. Oops. Oh yeah, I forgot I have more jabs on swap too. That's funny. Yeah, we'll see in like a month or two. Whenever it drops. I mean, they do have a while to load in, so you can always just, like, avoid them if you don't want to fight it.
I need mana.
I do think that'd be interesting, giving them a little, like, bonus experience so they're actually worth hunting. Even then, they're probably not worth it. Because you have to kill so many trash mobs. It's better to just do the bosses on the way or something. Okay, another point for Plague and Poison. Plague is going to be the skill that we're going to just jam all our points into, but Poison Jab is a synergy for Plague Jab, so.
Good day.
Perfect. Defense doesn't really do a lot. The usual way. Okay. So now we shove our staff in the cube.
Let's trade.
And make our way to the arcane. Oh, nice, Toby. Thank you, Trick, by the way. Rush for Forge. 3 main jabs and 2 is on 10. Oh, dang. I mean, I'd be happy. Still plus 5s. Yeah, the 10's not as nice, but... Is that what AI would like me to do, though? I think I'm running this exactly how AI would want. And that's the truth, and my name is not Scott Carney. Okay. Pick up some long staves. You really want to get these for money purposes. And that's why I'm picking up daggers, wands, staffs, etc. Just good money value. Now, I'm on players 8 here, but I'm actually going to go down to players 1. The Arcane Sanctuary is like okay for experience, but honestly kind of dangerous. It's very easy to get trapped with mobs on both sides of you, and this character doesn't really have good burst damage or any crowd control to prevent that from becoming a scary situation. So again, something that in the future we can get more experience somewhere else, right? You can always pick and choose kind of where you're leveling up. No reason to do it in the more dangerous areas exactly. Okay, so not the first way. We'll go ahead and pop the chest for fun. There's a battle staff as well. More money. They were tough, Llewellyn. They were tough. And that's worth 10,000 as well. Put our chip gems away. Repair all our gear.
Nothing the right portion can't cure.
Get a few more of those and we'll keep going. So a lot less scary. Could you play the game while switching mouse and keyboard? Right hand, left hand? Oh yeah, I've done that tons of times. Every time in Man vs. Stream that comes up all the time. We gotta deal with it. So not second way.
Good to see you.
Good evening.
Try for third way. I'm level 96 and getting higher feels like hard work. Yeah, it's rough. The crazy thing is, generally about level 96, you start to go, man, this is really rough. This is taking forever. Then you get to 97 and you're like, oh my god, this is crawling. This is taking so long. Then you get to 98 and you're like, oh jeez, it doesn't move. The bar doesn't move. Yeah, it's a real journey. then you get to 99 and you're like, this bar hasn't moved in over a year.
Good riddance, freak.
So you feel at 94? Fair. Okay, so now we'll go up to players 8. We'll find the right tomb. Remember, it goes circle, moon, square, sun, double down arrow, triangle, circle, over moon. That's your left to right. The deaths don't set you back as hard nowadays because we have terror zones, which helps so much for leveling. Back in the old days, a death at 98 cost so much time. Now it's like, you know, maybe an hour or two. If you're like grinding super efficiently and stuff, of course. So an hour and two for me. But way back when, oh my god, it was such a brutal time to die. Okay. Go down to players 1. Really annoying mobs here. Just try and jam it in really quick. Want to ladder race again? Sure. Money, money, repair, trash. Now, before we fight Duriel, what do? We drink a bunch of thawing potions. 50 res for 30 seconds for each one I drink. So I've got now like 4 minutes. We'll make sure we're on players 1. And then we can go fight Duriel. And that extra cold res will do a lot in helping us survive here. We'll hit him with the plague jabs. For that increased damage. There we go. Nice and easy. Okay. Make sure you get that talk first to Tyrael, and then go talk to Jurhin. Then for a quick shortcut across town, you can set a TP and go to Mishif. Money, money, money. And just kind of worse than what we have. And again, we'll make the swap over anyways. Belt is okay. Now, something that I'm going to want to do before I hit level 24 right now is a pretty good time, as I've got decent money. I've got these 3 things to sell, plus all this, plus some chip gems, is I want to get a staff of teleportation. So what I'm actually going to do is just reset. And we will go to Ormus. And again, doing this before level 24 is very helpful because I can look at just the staves that are red, since level 24 is required for teleport. Now, this is not a staff that gives teleport to a sorceress. This is a staff that gives teleport charges. Okay, very different things. Very helpful to have. Is it exactly required? No. It will speed up your run, definitely. And I also do find that it is helpful for safety. many times I'll be in a situation where I'm starting to get surrounded by mobs and I just need a way out. And that teleport charge is super helpful. Does Act 2 roll? Not in normal. This is the earliest place that you can get it. Now, if you are level 24 already, which some people might be, they might have just killed a lot of stuff in Act 2. Totally fine. All you have to do is check all the staves, right? So you don't just look at the red ones. You go in and you'll just go, okay. Right, you'll just like have to look through all of them. So it just takes a little bit longer. Now, these are not cheap. The cheapest that you'll find it is about 16,000. You can also find it for like 750,000, right? So you may have to re-roll a few times if you end up getting it, but it's like 400k and you can't afford that. For some of you, you'll just pull out of your shared stash and that's totally fine. For others, you don't want to do that. You can't do that. You don't have another character on hardcore. So you'll just have to keep re-rolling until you find one that is an appropriate cost. Beyond that, they are expensive to repair. They cost a little over 2,000 gold per teleport charge that you use. So you can't just spam the charges everywhere. I mean, you can if you have the gold, but... You can also repair with an Ort rune and a chipped gem, but of course then you're going to need a bunch of Ort runes. So some people think it's easier to find it if you have shopping music. We'll test it. Either way, it's a nice place, a nice time, where we can all just hang out together. And I can show you something else. So, remember how we talked about those chip gems before? You can go a random staff or wand or scepter or whatever weapon. But we want a staff here. And 3 chip gems. I'm buying cheap ones. And you can roll it. To try and hit teleport charges. Now, additionally, while trying to hit the teleport charges, you'll also hit staves that are just worth more than what you spent. So, again, I look if I find a staff that costs 1,000 gold, whatever, can roll it. It may roll into something that's worth 15,000. $551 for this guy. Bang, bang, bang. 3 to chain lightning. That's worth over 15k. So now the amount of gold we have is a ton more gold, right? This is an easy way to get your gold reserves up in the event. Oops. One to blaze. That, you know, we find one that costs 75,000. Thanks, Saris. move. Thanks, Kevin. We're getting kind of unlucky here. What? On the way up. Hello. Do I like bread? I do like bread. I would. I mean, this is all for me. All I need was a little good luck charm. All right. I'm eating right now. Thank you. All right, so we did get one that only cost 17 grand, which is really nice. So we'll just hold that. Keep it for later. Thank you, shopping music. We can go back to players 8. Player count does not matter for shopping, no. Grab the Gade figurine. Repairing a cheaper wand is not cheaper, no. The repair cost is the exact same. Waypoint. And we'll go back and we will change out our amulet to get a little more fire res. Just because fire res is pretty helpful out here. Because if you accidentally step up on one of these fetish shamans and they drop an inferno on you, it'll hurt. It'll do a lot of damage. Okay, so here is our spider cavern. You can tell it's down here by the way that it is. Now, if you want some help reading Act 3 maps, in the latest map hack in your mind, I'd go more in depth into Act 3 and how to read Act 3. It's a little bit trickier, but honestly, Act 3 became so much more enjoyable once I actually figured it out. Highly recommended. Now, Sark the Burning is also a very good source of death. So be very careful fighting him. Extra strong plus curse. Very powerful. fire shrine, so we will not push it. And now we have finally burned through our skill points, so we'll just start putting points into Plague Javelin, and you can see we're up to 600 damage. That is actually a good showcase. We do 3,000 poison damage over 40 seconds, though. Or 600 poison damage over 4 seconds. So the tick rate is just better. Poison Jav is still good, though. Like 3,000 damage over 40 seconds is still pretty solid, if I'm going to be honest. But it'll still be enough to kill all these things with one toss. But like I say, when we're trying to do a little bit more damage, a unique axe. Get it for the grail. For the jewels. Okay. So now we see what we run into up here. Okay, this looks pretty good. Probably a flare jungle dead ahead. Unless this curves around. Oh, thanks, Flaming. Nope. Okay, just a Great Marsh. Unfortunate. There's a large charm. I'll go ahead and grab that. I'm going to pick up the bone shield. As bone shields have nice block on them. And with 2 open sockets, we can make a rhyme later on. This is base game. I mean, Reign the Warlock, but, you know, base of that. Generally not a lot I like to do in the Great Marsh, except run through it. And get to the Flare Jungle. If you do find a nice boss group like this, okay, you can stop and kill.
Move.
Thanks, Cat City. Right, Synergy. So, just running through to the flare. Skill Shrine is nice. Nice little damage boost. And we'll go more Vitality with our stat points. They're cool ones, Gary. What's the reason to keep throwing jabs? Wait, what? Alright, I'll grab the experience shrine instead. I have to have throwing jabs to throw. So this is really nice, actually. Getting an experience shrine and a packed flare jungle is everything you want. And we know that's not it because of the way that it is. So just keep moving forward. And more Plague Javelin.
I can't.
And I'm going to go ahead and drop that rare shield. It just doesn't have quite enough. And we're now 24, so now we have opened up our teleport staff. But right now I want to try and take advantage of as much of this experience shrine as I possibly can. So I really just want to run around and kill things. Flare Jungle. Flare Jungle is a great place to level up. Honestly, you should just grab the waypoint, and if you want to farm it a couple times, you totally can. This is such a good spot for leveling, especially when you get a lot of the little runners. More vitality. TP. And all good, but we finished through the entire Flare Jungle with an experience shrine. Pretty nice. Now, our Rakanishu was to the top left, or our Stony Field, I believe, right? Oh, or was it bottom left? No, it was bottom left. So because it was bottom left, we go this way. By Rakanishu, I mean Stony Field. Again, map hack in your mind. We'll teach you all sorts of tricks. I throw the exact number of jabs that need to be thrown. We'll look for a waypoint. I do have the Flare Jungle waypoint, so it's not too big of a deal, but there we go. Identify, more vitality. Still unbuy those back. Set our hotkey. I don't need that. Put some rejuves away. And let's go. Yeah, when I throw, I'm just getting the clouds to spawn up again so that more mobs will get poisoned. That is the main goal. Grab the
This
Jid
death
bin.
will separate the faithful from the fallen.
And continue down here. Now leveling up here is just super helpful to do. Again, being over leveled in hardcore is always good. But it's also just a lot of added damage. Every point additional that we can get into our skills right now really starts to just move our damage numbers up. By like a substantial amount. So just super helpful to pick up 1, 2, 3 extra levels here. Again, continuing with rejuves. And at this point, I would even say you can run a rejuve pile. So I usually wait a little longer. This is hardcore. Why not? Let's do it. Go ahead and run a rejuve pile here. Have one section in your belt always dedicated to rejuves, just for safety. Make it a little bit faster rather than having to open the inventory and click.
Impossible.
That telly staff comes in handy right there. Okay. 9 light res, 1 mana per kill. I'll take it over the half freeze. We don't super need like the mana per kill and stuff at the moment, but it's still fine to have. Let's go look for Battle Maid Serena. She is in the temple in the Kuras Bazaar that faces to the bottom left. Is Druid strong for late game content? Druid is all around decent. He's not really best at anything, but he's good enough and decently powerful. Another point Plague Jav. More vitality. You can also farm Battle Maid Serena a bunch if you want. She is pretty good experience. Interesting. Well, that gives us a couple of thoughts. Let's go forward. It's Serena, not Sabrina. Ugh. Can't even get her name right. Go here. Sabrina is a teenage witch. Serena is the Teenage Battle Maid. When's it worth it to use the imbue for boots or jabs? So you definitely could have imbued some boots already, or your jabs if you wanted. For me, my thought is, I'm waiting until I find like a nice pair of maiden javelins, and then I'll imbue those. But you totally could have just imbued these superior jabs if you wanted. Okay, we'll go to Travancore. I'm going to do Trav on players 8. It might be a little dangerous, but... I feel like we have enough. And we do good damage. And I'm pretty confident in my skills. But if you want to go down to players 1 for it, totally understandable. Okay, we'll swap on the flail. Smack some dudes.
Yes.
Come back. What up, Sue? $15 to life isn't great, but it's not terrible. Turn in all of our Act 3 quests. Get more vitality. Get 20 to life. And let's continue. Be very careful of dolls, as of course dolls explode when they die, and that explosion does a lot of damage. So, honestly, better to just not even kill them. If you are going to kill them, launch in front of yourself and then run, so their, poison is like behind you, but even then, pretty scary and unnecessary a lot of times. In hardcore, my recommendation is don't. Yes, all the difficulties of this playthrough will be vids on my channel. We'll go down to players 1. And head over to Mr. Mephisto. Now, of course, fighting Mephisto, you just want to keep your distance. If you want to cheese him, you can. You can always go like across the way and stuff, but then I would have to have killed all those trap members so they don't heal him. Yeah, I lost a Necro to an accidental telestomp. I was just teleporting to Mephisto. My mercenary just killed a doll next to me.
Success.
Wow, we got Pluck Eye. It's a nice pickup for the Grail. If you shoot through mobs, will the poison continue or will it stop? No, it stops at the first hit. That's why it's important to be proper in how you do so. Okay. Act numero 4. You can see that repair cost me 40 grand. Almost all the gold I had. We'll stick on players 1 in Act 4. We actually could be a little bit higher player count if we wanted, but I'm already 26 and a half. I feel pretty good. But Venom Lords can be annoying on high player counts. We'll look for Mr. Isual while looking for the exit. Found that one first. Portal Shrine would work, but I'm just going to go get the waypoint. Also, be careful of all these dark familiars, these little, like, hanging birds and stuff. A lot of times you can kind of misjudge where they actually are standing. And then you're running, and then all of a sudden you're surrounded by them. And it can do a lot of damage very quickly. Also, be careful with your teleport staff. A lot of times it's better to not do a full telly all the way to the corner, but rather like 3/4 to a space you can actually see. Just to make sure you're not dying. So be careful with that, and be careful teleporting over walls into death. There we go. Nice and easy. Let's go grab the small charm too. 2 more skills. Going into Plague Javelin, or Poison, for the synergy. All garbage. Alright. Let's go to the River of Flame. Thanks, Professor. Good luck, good luck. Well, I got the Master on doing it. I was on Halidus at level 87. Seems good. Do be careful of Hephaestus. He can do some good damage. But on players 1, we should be able to take him pretty easily. You might see some War Javelins there and be like, oh, should I use War Javelins? Doesn't really change anything. Ugh, Elrin is very sad. Right? Like, yes, it looks nicer because it is technically more damage. But it's pretty much the exact same thing. I mean, we can use it, but there's no real upgrade here because the physical damage is not really a piece of our damage. So if you have the requirements, sure, whatever. But I don't really recommend ever trying to do anything with them like that.
Moo.
We could try to imbue them or something if we wanted. Dwight, thank you. Now we did get a perfect ruby. We can go ahead and jam it in our cap. And now we have a 62 life cap, and that's pretty sweet. What's the strongest build? 9 skill, 4 mage, 6 drive, low 20 bone spirit, and putting points in teeth. Is that wise? You're probably too split across all the stuff. Being summoned and... first off, mages are garbage. Ignore those. You definitely want to be, if you're going poison, or if you're going bone, just like... You want to be all bone. Just be boning so hard. We can always sell some things for money if we need any cash. Honestly, we're pretty okay right now. Yeah, what up? Yeah, Mosaic is removed from multiplayer and exists in single player right now. Yeah, I would just be like I'd be all bone with just having some points into revives or a golem in all bone or go in, you know, actually commit to the summons if you want. Be careful down here. This can be a little dangerous. So if you can long shot him like this, even just some of his minions, that's helpful enough. Also do note that Poison Javelin travels further than Plague Javelin does. So you want to go like a longer range. But the fire damage from here can be pretty scary.
I am overburdened.
Sure. Thorns doesn't cancel Iron Maiden, no. And one of the biggest, tips I can say is just make sure that you're always leaving yourself some room to run and like have a safe space to go back to. So I often am running forward a little bit more aggressively than I would recommend to you, right? But like here, it's like these guys are all going to come in behind me and I could get trapped. I feel confident on this character. My res are good enough. I've got my telly staff, like everything like that. It's all really nice. But I would still recommend that generally when you're playing, just try and leave yourself room. Make sure you know where your safe spaces are that you can back up into if necessary. Yeah, you can play without a telly staff. It's just like a little bit extra helpful. Ooh, 10 all res does win out. Make sure we're on players 8 for Diablo. And launch it. Now, we're not the fastest boss killer with this build. That is one of the downsides. But that's okay. One of the big things is avoid that lightning breath. It's half lightning, but also half physical damage. And that physical damage hurts a lot. try to direct hit the Diablo with the jabs. They do greatly increase single target damage when they physically target the hit. Yeah, unfortunately, my attack rating is so low. It's not a great chance, but we try. How many times have I been killed by lightning breath? Oh yeah. So many. Yeah, Decrepify is going to be a little better. Iron Maiden's not really going to do a lot. I wouldn't recommend you use that. Sure. Not really a lot of money from all this stuff. That was actually not shabby. Okay. 30 grand repair bill. Give yourselves a clap. Act 4 hardcore is done. Coming up to finish out normal. Haven't even had a struggle yet. Good job, everybody.
At your service.
Now I'm actually going to make a recommendation here. And that is stick on players 1 through with a majority of the Bloody Foothills.
The siege must be stopped.
It's just not that lucrative, and it's more dangerous than anything. So this is really the only like boss group that you super care about down here, and he's cold enchanted anyways, which is annoying. Now before you get to Shank, if you want to swap over to players 8, you can. Just for a little bit of experience there. And then Eldritch is obviously a nicer spot for picking up that EXP. But you could also stick on P1 here and just do the Eldritch farm. Point to Plague Javelin. Vitality. Add a staff for cash. Ethereal, unfortunate. And we are now at Eldritch. One of the best leveling spots in the game, as it is right next to the waypoint. Not that dangerous, and just pretty easy to kill overall. So this is definitely a place where you can spend a little bit of time if desired. You just quit and rejoin. It's still worth 25 grand. Over here and save it. Run back. This is hell, yeah.
Not enough mana.
Now, you can be here for hours if you want. Some people take this all the way up to level 40. And you know what? This is hardcore. Do what you want. right? Be as safe as you want. It's very easy experience. You can find some okay things from Eldritch with that farm. It's really a decent spot. I'm level 28. I feel pretty confident. I'll go ahead and move forward, but take it to 30, take it to 35, you know, whatever, right? Unfortunately, the barbs are, need to poison there for the prison doors. So I'm actually going to go down to players 1. That won't affect this door, but it'll affect the future doors. And we'll use lightning on this one. And this one rolled also players 8. No biggie. And you know what? I'm just going to put the diamond in my bone shield. Getting another 2 Open Saga bone shield is the easiest thing in the world. Just go shop it at Drognin in Act 2.
Follow me.
For now, we get 11 all res by putting that in there. Why not? We've saved all the barbarians. True that, Zallard. It's actually a good amount of money there between all the stuff. An armor, a staff, and a unfortunate just white wand. No plus skills. Lots of potential for cash. Yes, and Ralort Tal does give us Ancient's Pledge, which we can debate whether to use that or to use Rhyme. Rhyme gives us the Cannot Be Frozen, which is helpful, but it's also hardcore. And maybe just getting all that resistance is better. Go ahead and grab this waypoint, and we will go repair. I'm going to sell those. Sell that and that. And buy those back for more quantity. You can still teleport while frozen, and it doesn't affect your teleport frames. So because of that, the Can't Be Frozen is less important. It's still really nice for throwing our javelins. That's definitely one that I leave kind of up to the user, whichever one they feel more inclined towards. Careful of Death Lords, they hurt. We'll leave it TP right there and head forward to try and get a waypoint so we can come back. And do Anya. There's one thing you want to do in this game, it's Anya. Alright. 10 all res in hardcore. Extremely valuable. Attack rating and fire damage. Pretty relevant for us. Okay, now I do want to find a waypoint. Hopefully we can just find one out here on the run. If not, we'll go search for the one Ancient's Way. There it is. Perfect. Okay. Champion, Moonlords. Nah, we'll just say goodbye. Some things you don't need to fight. One thing I can do on my telestaff swap.
Impossible.
I think we found Death Spade again back there, right? Yes, it was rare. Is I can set throw to this so I don't accidentally swing with it. It's a really slow swing otherwise. It's bad how it goes, Dimitri. That's what happens when you make tea. A move only button would be cool, but that's the best thing we got. I mean, there is a button technically, but a move only like key you could put in there would be nice. Okay. This is also a great place where you can actually do this, and you can go shopping. It's for level 28. And we can start looking for Javs with attack speed. Basically, I want to be able to just like throw them off a little faster. Oops, I don't know why I went through those. But 1 to Jav and Spear skills I'm actually going to prefer. 20 IAS is nice, but I do like 1 to Jav and Spear skills because we are going for poison. I'll actually grab these 20 IAS as my secondary pair. And
what do you need?
Quick, oh, can't repair. That's fine. We will go to the frozen tundra. So you can get 2 all skills, 40 IS Javs. I'm not a high enough level to get that yet. So yeah, later on. Right now, I'm happy just with what we have here. So yeah, I'd be looking for like 20 IS. I don't think I can't get 40 yet. Level 28, I'm not sure. I can get 30s maybe, but I can at least get 20s or +1 Jav and Spears. Good enough. Make sure your player is 1 for Ancients. And pretty simple. Run away. Honestly, you have enough life that you shouldn't get one-tapped by Talic if you whirlwind through or anything. But still better safe than sorry. Again, it's hardcore. Why are you taking risk?
I need mana.
Better to get hit 0 times. Right. Another point to Plague Jav. And I'll actually go Strength here. To make an Ancient's Pledge, we'll go up to 34 Strength. Or we could get in a Kite Shield, but that is 47 Strength. A little bit worse, but it does open up more other item options in the future. Hi, Debro. Complacency is the #1 killer in hardcore. Yep. And dolls. And souls. And death lords. Okay, get the waypoint. I'd be curious what's killed me the most times in this game. Honestly, it's probably just normal Rakinishu. Considering how often you run into him and do speed runs that are like so tight where, you know, he is like he's so powerful because you're running at him at such a low level. I don't know if Blizzard fully like tracks which mobs have the most kills. Level 30 does open up Lightning Fury. We're not going to go into it yet. Also, level 1 Lightning Fury is just like meh. You really want to get a little bit higher. Starting at like a level 4 or 5 is a good spot. Now you could just jump into it. It's still good. Arachnid Lair on the scale for most deaths. You mean Spider Cavern? Sark the Burning. He's got a lot of kills for sure. Oh God, Roy. Okay, so I'm on players 8 now for these waves, just to try and pick up some more experience. Wave 2, you could go lower if you wanted. True, Dr. Bois. Yeah, Nilithak's got a lot of kills too. I probably should have because of the poison, huh? Forgot about him being poison immune. Alright. Is there a spec I haven't played in all these years? Nah. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to let him resurrect some dudes. We're going to get these dudes. And we're going to drag them out here. Drink an antidote in the health pot. Kill them down here. There's still a couple left he needs to revive. Nope. Now we're going to come over here. We're going to go to Act 3. Act 2 would also work. But we'll do Act 3.
Good day.
Cold Mercenary is not the best. A little bit slow. Let's grab fire. Lightning's also not bad because of static. Okay. And we'll just work together. I could give him myself, but he's fine. I don't have jab. Alright. Nice and easy. We'll sell that. Our mercenary is gonna die. That's okay. He did his job. Now, do be careful about Bartok. He's pretty painful. Wave 4, I'm going to go down to players 1. Just because players 8 takes a bit. And wave 5, we're probably just dragging. We'll stick on players 1 as well. But another rough one. They just have very high poison resist. So honestly, it's not even worth fighting them. You can take the long time it takes to fight them if you want. But I'm just gonna avoid them. This is also where if you wanted, you could go into Lightning Fury and do some bail runs.
My brothers will not have died in vain.
Now, let's say you get cloned and it's really annoying. What you can do is you can run out of sight of him and his clone, or just his clone really. Go to town. Just hang out. Hang out for a few seconds in town. Go back in. His clone is now dead. So are all of the tentacles. They will disappear. The ones that are off your screen. So, an easy way to avoid having to fight the clone. Can I say that again? You weren't paying attention? If he spawns a clone, run to the other side of the room where the clone is not on your screen. Go to town for 4+ seconds. Come back in. The clone will be dead. And so will all the tentacles that are off screen. Voila! Congratulations. You just beat normal hardcore in no time at all. Super easy.
Hello.
How easy was that, chat? Okay, let's go ahead and go around here. We'll go ahead and collect our runes. I'm gonna really quickly level up to 31. Just so we can get the strength. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 to vitality. More plague javelin.
I am overburdened.
Sure. Grab more rejuves. One to sorceress, 2 to flame wave. Sell and sell. Let's go hopefully get a jav from Anya. Nope. Classic. And we can now stand normal once more. We're going to go back to Act 2. Now, if you want to shop for a 2 open socket bone shield to make a Ryman, then you go to Drognin up there. You can also reset your map so your exit is to the top right by going to Nightmare and then coming back. If you want to make the entrance pledge, you can shop Farah like this. And we're just looking for a 3 open socket. Yeah, a lot of bow drops. You're doing the unique only challenge. And you're still in the cold plains? It's a tough one. I like it. Maybe we'll do it. Maybe we'll add it to our
It is an honor to serve you.
our list. Does it have to be a new uniquer set every time? Check the kite shield. I only have 34 strength though. I know, but I want to make it right now. I could also grab this shield or the kite shield and just use the socket quest and it'll get 3. But I don't want to waste my socket quest on that.
Blessings to you.
Is it worth to build a honker to search runes? Yes. A honker is great.
Good day.
23 MF is tempting. I'm gonna do it.
Greetings.
Is it part of the
It is an honor.
part of the game where you get your 10k steps? Uh-huh. All right, so we have this. You go Ral, Ort, Tal, Ancient's Pledge. Get to a nice 48 all res, 43 cold res. Which just helps out a lot.